Hey everyone, it's Bethany at the Pink Hutch and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you joined. Today we're going to learn how to create these faux conversation heart cakes for your Valentine's displays. Let's go ahead and go over our supplies. First, you'll need a base for your cake. You can either use a styrofoam cake dummy. This one is from Amazon and I believe it is 6 by 4 inches. This one's good, ready to go, and I like the texture on this because it's easier for your fake frosting to adhere to. But you can also use these styrofoam discs from Dollar Tree. You'll probably need a stack of about 5 discs to get a good height on it. They come in a pack of like 2 for $1, so you can use that. You'll need some lightweight spackling. This one is from Dollar Tree as well, but I actually like the DAP Fast and Final brand. The consistency of this one is a lot smoother than the Dollar Tree version. But I'm out of this one today, so I'm probably going to use the Dollar Tree spackling. And then you'll also need some craft paint. For today, I'm going to use the Deco Art Americana brand in baby blue. I like the consistency of this. It's a little bit more watery than all the other brands, so it's better to mix with your spackling. You'll also need some kind of utensil to mix your spackling and your paint with, as well to spread your fake frosting onto your cake dummy. I just use a silicone spatula to do that. You also need some DAP Fast Dry acrylic caulking. And last but not least, you'll need your conversation heart candy. And here's a look at all the supplies we'll be using today. I'll also link everything in the description below in the Amazon supply list for the DIY faux cake. And here's a list as well, so you can take a screenshot for the supplies you'll need. So in the cake that I've already made, I used the cake dummy because it was ready to go. But today I'm going to try the discs from the Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do to stack all these three together is to grab my acrylic caulking. And I'm just going to squirt some of the caulking onto the disc right in the middle. You don't have to use a lot, just enough so that your discs have something to adhere to. And then we're just going to stack it together till it's nice and even and press down on it. I'm going to repeat that process for the next layer. Just adding a little bit of caulking. So think of this as the glue for those layers. Press it together. Make sure it's nice and even. Then I'm going to add that final layer. Press it down and make sure it's all nice and even. Then I'm going to let that dry for about 20 to 30 minutes till it's all set. While my discs are setting together, I'm going to go ahead and open up my spackling and start mixing my paint in. We're just going to mix it right in the cup. So we're going to pour bunch of your paint inside, and then we're just going to mix that together. Now I'm going to speed up this part because all we're doing is mixing your spackling and your paint together. You want to get that well blended and perfectly mixed. Once you've gotten your spackling mixed with your paint, we're going to go ahead and spread that frosting onto your faux cake. Now, if this were a larger cake dummy or foam shape, you would want to tape it down so that you could easily spread your frosting around. But since this one is smaller and easier for me to hold, I'm just going to hold it in my hand and frost it all the way around. We're going to start by frosting the sides. So you're going to take a little bit of your spackling and just press that onto your foam. And you're going to spread it around like you were spreading actual frosting. Keep applying your frosting liberally around your faux cake and keep smoothing it out. Once you've gotten a good coat around your cake, you're going to scoop a little bit of frosting and we're just going to smoothen things out a little bit more, kind of refine the look. So what I'm going to do is go over the cake and start spreading it up. That's just going to give you a cleaner finish on the side. Once you've finished frosting your faux cake, make sure not to touch it. Let it dry completely overnight. Here's how mine turned out. As you can see, it's not perfect, but I kind of like the imperfect look. It makes it look more realistic. And again, make sure to let it dry completely overnight. And while my cake was drying, I decided to take my conversation hearts outside and spray it with some matte acrylic sealer. This will help preserve the candy and let your cake last a long time. This step is completely optional, you don't have to do it, but I highly recommend it. After your faux cake is dry, you can now add your conversation heart pieces. So what you're going to do is add a little bit of that DAP acrylic caulking, and then you're going to place a conversation heart along the bottom. Here's what that looks like from a different angle. As you can see, I'm just working on the bottom row, placing that caulking onto the heart pieces and pressing it onto the cake. You're going to create that first row completely around your cake before you work on the second row. Here I am working on the second row of my hearts. Once you place your hearts down on your faux cake, you want to make sure that you don't pick up that cake while your caulking is still wet. Make sure to let it dry before you pick it up, otherwise your hearts are just going to fall off. Here's how it looks from this side. I'm just building the second row, trying to match up my colors to the bottom row so that it can have a cohesive rainbow look with these conversation hearts. Once you're done decorating your faux cake, make sure to leave it alone for 24 hours so that it can completely dry. I only did 2 rows on this one since I had a shorter cake. Here's the final look. I love how these turned out to be. They're so pretty. And since they're pastel, I think I may use them for Easter too. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial, and I hope that you make your own faux cake. If you do, make sure to tag me on Instagram at @thePinkHutch. Thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.